What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel, where we talk all things box. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, put it on all so you can get notified of all our latest content on the channel. So without further ado, let's get into it. So just yesterday we had the conclusion to Eddie Hearn's fight camp. The card where he does it in his back garden, Matchroom HQ over there in Essex. And yeah, we had the main event there, which took place between Joshua Buatsi, JB Just Business, and Ricard Bolotniks. And Bolotniks is a tough fighter. Last work I saw of him, he was beating Jose Burton. He won a golden contract tournament with I think it was with MTK Global or something like that. The tournament was put on by them. Beats Burton, you know, wins that final and everything. And yeah, he's one of those guys that's a tough guy. He had 5 losses on his record coming into this, but the idea was he was a guy that was meant to test Joshua Buatsi, because Joshua Buatsi is one of those guys that he is a prospect, talented fighter, came out of the Olympics in 2016 with a bronze medal, good fighter all round, and he's one of those guys that's ranked quite high in the world, you know, right towards that upper sort of echelon of the world rankings in the alphabet organization. So they're looking to sort of maneuver him towards a world title, and this fight was a stepping stone for him. And the fight opened up, I thought, along with several others, that Bolotniks had a good first round. He opened the fight very well. He was able to do some good countering against Joshua Buatsi, used the jab very well, went to Buatsi's body and head quite well. You know, Buatsi seemed quite static in the first round. And yeah, he was able, Bolotniks, to catch Joshua Buatsi, you know, with some good solid work. And I think he done very good in that first round, did Bolotniks. You know, he just come out and sort of put his stamp and put his impression on the fight. But when it came to round 2, Buatsi began to sort of take control. He began to sort of have his way a little bit more. He was always sort of, because of the way he stands, Buatsi, he's quite an upright fighter. He's got quite an upright style with his head, you know, held quite high, and quite, you know, the chin, you know, is kind of available to the right shots if he's not careful. But yeah, he's a very good fighter, but he kind of stands quite upright in his stance, and he's kind of there near enough to punching range to be hit. So he's I suppose he's throughout this fight he was vulnerable to, you know, to certain shots there. And yeah, but he was basically having it mostly his own way. From sort of 2 onwards, he was mainly having it his own way. He was winning the rounds, getting caught here and there. Bolotniks was always sort of in the fight. He was always landing his own little counters here and there in between Joshua Buatsi's punches. So Buatsi was in control, but it wasn't like complete control. He was still getting caught. Bolotniks was still very much in the fight, and there was a big breakthrough for Buatsi again in round 6, where he put Bolotniks down in that round, and he really blew his load trying to finish Bolotniks, just winging in punches, and really steamed into Bolotniks. You know, really tried hard to finish him. And Bolotniks, to his credit, done very well. He still, after the knockdown and stuff, he still stayed on his feet. He managed somehow to survive that 6th round. And for Buatsi's part, he just shot his load. He basically punched himself out, because as we moved on, sort of 7th, 8th, you know, a lot of these rounds that, you know, going forward after that 6th round where he just exerted himself so much, a lot of these rounds were kind of rounds where you could see Buatsi sort of taking time off, taking little periods, big periods of the round off, stepping it up in the second half, and then taking the first half of the next round off. And yeah, he took his foot off the gas a bit, did Buatsi, and you could tell he was, after that 6th, he was really sort of feeling the pace, and he was feeling it. You could tell he definitely sort of punched himself out there in that 6th. So he had to sort of look for that second wind. I mean, Virgil Hunter in the corner was saying, yeah, don't worry, baby, you're going to get your second win, boom, boom, boom. But he was still winning the rounds and whatnot, still winning the rounds. And, you know, as we got into the sort of championship rounds, 8, 9, 10, Buatsi still having it mostly his own way. But there were a few times where he was getting caught by these silly shots because he kind of, again, he was always sort of getting caught with his head, you know, his chin sort of upright and there to be hit. So this was one of them performances that he was, as much as he was winning the rounds, he was struggling. You know, there was many points in this fight where, you know, he was struggling with sort of the pace of the fight, and you know, he was winning, but he wasn't win. He was winning, and you know, clearly on points and everything, but it wasn't super comfortable. It wasn't as easy, you know, as he could have made it. You know, so we go into the sort of 10th round. He's winning again, gets caught time to time with the shots, but you could tell that of these two, the man with the power to hurt the other guy was definitely Buatsi. His power just told all the way through. Bolotniks did get him with some shots, did stagger him and stun him a few times, but for the most part, you could tell Buatsi was a man with the power, and that power really came to his, wouldn't say his rescue, but really came to, you know, to finish the fight in the 11th round, where he just launches this beautiful right hand while Bolotniks was on the retreat. Bolotniks was sort of moving away on the ropes and stuff, moving away from Buatsi, and Buatsi just lamps him beautifully with a sort of right hand, sort of a looping right hand, kind of a bit of a looping sort of overhandish type right hand, but it was very, very powerful by Buatsi in that 11th round. Lamps him with that shot beautifully, and then that was it. That was all she wrote, you know. But Bolotniks was just on the floor. He was out. It was good night in round 11, and overall, I'd say as a performance, it was one where the ending was exactly what Buatsi needed. The result was exactly what Buatsi needed. But obviously there'll be things that he needs to work on. I think for me, along with many others, it's the defense. He needs to work on his defenses, because he's definitely leaky in the defensive department, and you just get the feeling that you know, they were talking about Bivol and stuff after the fight, and guys like Bivol, they're brilliant, masterful boxers, and they'll pick him. You know, if he's that defensively vulnerable and leaky, they'll pick him off all night long. You know, guys with good jabs, good boxing skills and fundamentals. If you're defensively that leaky, I think they'll pick him off. Even some have said, you know, the British rivals, some of these guys that, I mean, you know, even what Spider Richards was able to do with what do you call him, with Bivol, you know, who knows, he'd give probably Buatsi trouble just by being sort of a skillful boxer. You know, they might be able to, you just get the feeling with Buatsi, for me, I think he needs a few more fights, a few more tough learning fights, and he needs to sort of tighten up in the area of his defense before you sort of go steaming into a guy like a Bivol, because those guys are top level. I mean, I think he's got the power to compete with these top guys, but I think, you know, he's got a few defensive leaks and frailties there. So I'd like to see him in with another few good challengers, get him in there with a good, you know, fringe world level guys, more guys like Bolotniks, maybe slightly better or whatever. I'd like to even see him in there with his domestic boys, guys like Anthony Yard, and, you know, yeah, Anthony Yard, I think that would be an exciting one. Even a Linden, those guys there, I'd like to see him box them guys, but I suppose because he might be above them in the rankings, him fighting them might be a step down for his ranking or whatever. I don't know about that, but anyway, we'll see what happens. Let me know in the comment section what you thought of the fight, what you thought of Buatsi's performance. Would you be happy to see him in there with Bivol next, or would you say, no, let's exercise a bit of caution Let's wait. Let's give him a few more learning facts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Till next time, it's MKO Pugilism over and out. Catch you next time.